is not yet complete. Let me talk about it. We have had about 19,000 applicants who actually volunteered to be removed from the refugee database. Of these, about 4,000 were from Wajir, and about 15,000 were from Garissa County. Some of the people who volunteered to be removed from the database were children who have not attained the age of 18 years. Others were Kenyans who already had IDs but who were in the refugee database. Others were Kenyans who were in the refugee database who attained the mandatory age for getting IDs but who could not get IDs. Of all these today, we have about 13,000 which have been released. The rest of the IDs are also going to be released shortly before the exercise of registration of voters is over. We are going to get. I want to appeal those people who will not have gotten their IDs. Please be aware that we are still working on this issue with the government of Kenya, and the government is working hard day and night to release those ID cards before the end of the exercise for registering voters. And I am aware that we have got a lot of IDs of age people which are still pending in Nairobi and Garissa. I want to appeal to Mr. Karuga, please, let us have all those cases of the DAP. People who have actually applied for IDs, who are overage, who did not get IDs. We want to know what's the problem. Let us solve that problem. We have spoken with the director, Mr. Kimoda, and it has been agreed that all those pending cases should be removed, should be resolved once and for all. We also know that some of the elderly people who got IDs recently cannot use that ID to get IDs for their children. We also want those caveats to be removed. Mr. Karuga, please take that matter with the director, the regional director, and also the national director. As we are here today, I want to talk about issue of voter registration. When I first came to the DAB constituency in the year 2013, who knows the number of registered voters in the DAB? Does anyone remember how many voters we had in the DAB? How many were they? Yeah? There were 19,000. The first time we had 19,000 votes in the DAB. In the year 2017, how many registered voters did we have? About 26,670. You remember that? Today, during the first excess of voter registration, how many registered voters do we have in the DAP? Does anyone know? We have about 36,000 registered voters just after the end of. Today, I'm a very proud man in the DAP. I want to tell you that the people of the DAP have been marginalized for a long time. But today I want to say together we are going to celebrate our independence as a sub-county, because today I can proudly say that 90% of the people of the DAP have acquired Kenyan IDs who are actually missing. When I first came, many of the people in the DAP, when they see a police vehicle, they will run to the bush. Many of the elderly people could not go for Hajj, they could not go and travel between towns. I remember an elderly man from a place called Kadafso, an 80-year-old man, who got his ID in March 2017. It was the first time he went by a vehicle from one point to another, the first time, because he was avoiding to travel by road lest he meets security officers.